So today we're working on a 123. Okay. And you can see the disaster right here a little bit. The oil pressure gauge started leaking, so made a little bit of a mess. So I gotta drop this down, and I have a replacement one. Actually, we already actually I painted the needles to a nice orange color and all that stuff, so it's gonna be awesome. So I have to pull this panel down and have to push out the cluster from behind, because I don't like to use those tools that they make, the special tools for removing the clusters on these old school Mercedes. I just don't like using them because they just kind of like stretch this dashboard and all that stuff and just leave marks. I don't like doing that, so I like to pull this down and push the cluster out from that way. And there's gonna be connections you have to disconnect. There's gonna be electrical connectors on the back, and also mechanical speedometer cable, and also that oil pressure line, which I believe has a 10mm bolt you have to take off. You have to use a 10mm wrench, or it was 8, I don't remember. I think it was 10. So I'm gonna start removing this. There she is. Look at all that oil. Damn. It's gonna be cleanup to do. Alright. Wow. She's really leaking. Damn. Oh baby. Okay. So you gotta pull this out carefully. So I'm gonna push the cluster out right now. Alright guys, so now as you can see, oh man, this needs to be cleaned up later really good. But what I was gonna say is, you see all this space right now, so you can put your hand behind the cluster and just nicely push it out, kind of like that. Actually, I'm gonna probably disconnect that connector right now from the back, the main electrical plug, if I can do it. Alright, so here's the cluster. It's gonna be kind of tight, but I have to disconnect everything. But before I do that, I have to disconnect the battery cable. That's really important. Disconnect the negative of this baby. You're gonna be like, why you're not using a wrench and stuff? Because I didn't take any wrenches with me today. That's all done, so I can begin by disconnecting everything. Alright, so you can see the oil right there that was draining down. You can see all this stuff. Pretty fun, right? So this is all soaked now, so I have to take it apart. Either way, I'm gonna also restore these needles, the speedometer needle and tachometer and clock. Clean this all up, make it good again. Save old schools. So first thing is to take off this thing on the back, which is tachometer and the clock, and then you're gonna take off this assembly, which is the speedometer and odometer, and then finally you're gonna take out this, which is your main fuel gauge, oil pressure and temperature. Alright, so the cluster is disassembled right here, and you can see oil is like everywhere on this thing. And what I was saying is I'm gonna be painting these needles to orange, just like they were from the factory. And let's quickly look at this guy. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, that thing is soaked pretty good. I'll probably have to take it apart and see, because I'm curious. Yeah. Alright guys, so real quick, I gotta change my, or actually my friend's shifter bushings, because it's pretty bad. Look at this, it's like manual transmission car, literally. So sloppy. So we'll do that while the cluster is actually getting repaired and needles getting painted. This is the old unit, so I'm actually, so here's the refurbished cluster, painted needles and all that stuff, and just gonna demonstrate that to you. The oil pressure, everything is working, and I cleaned those odometer numbers, so they're really nice now. Just gotta put this cover back and we're gonna be good to go, and everything works. All right. So here's the clip I've removed. I'm gonna do the front one, and there's the rod disconnected. So the engine is not so bad, it's actually pretty dry over there, surprisingly. So yeah, and it's leaking trans fluid, appears to be from this neutral safety switch, or it could be also, I don't know if that's the vacuum modulator leaking. I think it's from this, it's coming from this guy. Yeah. Well, we're gonna focus on the shifter now. Ready to install it with a special tool. You can get the special tool on Amazon or eBay on 25.